While video editing can be done with proxy workflows, color correction requires working directly on your original camera files, or a full quality codec such as ProRes4444 or EXR image sequences. This type of media is very high bandwidth and will push the capabilities of your workstation and your storage. That's why many colorists and VFX artists will copy media to direct attached SSD drives that offer the type of performance they need to play back these massive files. Using LucidLink Filespaces, colorists don't need to copy media or project files to their local storage. They can work directly from their file space despite using these heavy codecs. A colorist can open a Resolve project and then select the color page. They would then select a shot and place the playhead where they choose. At this point, LucidLink will download the blocks it needs to build that frame. Here we're looking at some original camera footage from a Sony Venice camera, which is very high quality and very high bitrate. As you can see, this frame renders out instantly. As a colorist, you can then work your magic with wheels, curves, and scopes. If you need to do noise reduction or motion tracking, where you analyze motion between frames to make sure there are no artifacts, you can scrub the playhead across the shot, and LucidLink will pull those frames down at the maximum speed of your internet connection. Due to the start-stop nature of color correction work, many colorists can work directly from LucidLink Filespaces the way they always do while color grading. Another major advantage of this approach is that the colorist will only need to cache the blocks representing what is actually on the timeline, or in some cases not even every frame. Other approaches would require them to download the media in its entirety before they could even start working. Using LucidLink Filespaces, a colorist can have their work finished in less time than it would have taken for them to download that source media. While grading itself is very start-stop in nature, when you are ready to proof your work or export a final render, you are going to need the ability to play back your media at full frame rate. If you've spent the last several hours performing all this color correction work, the blocks associated with your timeline media should already be loaded into your cache. Using a high-capacity, high-performance local SSD and a sufficiently sized LucidLink cache will help ensure that this is the case. If you know in advance that you are going to want real-time playback of heavy bandwidth media, another option is to pin the source folders of that media. Pinning essentially pre-caches the blocks of this media, providing the highest possible performance. LucidLink's pinning technology is much better than downloading an offline copy because it stays up to date with all other users in the file space. So any changes or additions to the pinned folder by other users will propagate to your pinned copy. This keeps everyone working from a single source of truth and eliminates version conflicts, confusion, and wasted time. Another way to do color correction work on demanding media is to spin up a cloud workstation and connect it to your LucidLink file space. Many providers offer high-performance options that are sufficient for color or VFX workflows, and they have bandwidth that is much faster than your remote connection. Once configured, these types of virtual machines will access your media via LucidLink Filespaces the same way that your other users would. All color work can be performed through the remote interface very efficiently. The new Blackmagic Cloud service allows you to store your DaVinci Resolve project server in the cloud. This makes the project file accessible to everyone on your team, no matter where they're located. LucidLink makes all of your media available to everyone on the team. So using Blackmagic Cloud and LucidLink Filespaces together allows you to implement a full DaVinci Resolve collaborative workflow remotely. As you can see, LucidLink Filespaces are extremely flexible and make it easy to work in whatever way you and your team need. It brings access to your media to everyone on the team, no matter where they're located. Due to the nature of color correction work, it is particularly effective for providing colorists exactly what they need, without having to download terabytes of data they don't need. LucidLink Filespaces and DaVinci Resolve combine to make the most efficient way to do color correction from anywhere in the world.